Hello, my name is Serena, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you all about my college journey, specifically how the Lord has directed me, and just even to use this to encourage you if you feel like your journey, whether it be with college or honestly anything, could be with your career, has not felt like there has been much straight direction, or it's been taking a lot of twists and turns is not necessarily bad. In fact, it can be really strategic from God to direct your paths, because He sees the bigger plan and purpose, and to not be discouraged or not to give up, but to trust the Lord. And even if that means taking you different places than you thought you would be. So to begin, I started college 6 years ago in California. I did start with community college, and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. There was certain things where I was interested in, like interior design and real estate, just because that's kind of what my family was doing. But I actually had received, right before I started college, a prophetic word about my calling, and it was about it being both ministry and government. Now, at the time, I had no heart for government. I just was not on my radar at all. But it was during the 2016 election, which is also the same time I started college, that I really became passionate about it and started to research more. And that's what really caused me to want to get into it more. And then also, I've been part of a house of prayer, and so part of the house of prayer they intercede a lot for government leaders, and so from that I also developed a heart for government, for that field, and so anyway, I started there in California, and the plan was to do 2 years community college and then to transfer to a university. But it was getting really difficult to be able to take classes there, because being from California and in the public system, there's just a lot of liberal tint, a lot of bias, and as a Christian and conservative, it was just proving to be very difficult for me to be even able to take those types of courses without having so much twisted teaching. And so anyway, it caused me to research what are the top conservative Christian colleges with government degree. And so that's what led me to the King's College, which is based in New York City. And so I went there for a year, 2017 to 2018, and I really did enjoy my time there. That's a whole story in and of itself, but I was able to grow a lot. And even being in New York City, that's a whole other cultural experience. And I then felt led, actually at the time, like God was calling my family and I to move to Tennessee. And so I only spent a year at the King's College, and then I took a semester off to then move to Tennessee. And then I started community college there. And then after that, I really wanted to go back to, university. And I found Regent University, which, oh my goodness, I cannot brag about Regent more than any other school I've been to. It is so Christian rooted and spirit filled, and also just gives you a rigorous course too, with all different types of fields, and especially with government too. So I applied to go there. So I was there on campus 2019, and then 2020, 2 weeks into 2020, I had to leave early because of a family emergency and different other financial situations. But what I wanted to share with you all too, and this is something where I just also wanted to share with you, like, the importance of also having that daily walk in communication with God and really seeking Him daily to direct our steps, that this is what helped me to be able to avoid a really bad, difficult situation, and to really hear from Him and what He's doing, and to have peace even in the unknown and in the abrupt transitions. So this was a week before I got the phone call saying, Serena, you have to leave Regent, you have to come home. So a week before that, so it's probably January 17th or something, I had this dream. And in the dream, I was leaving my dorm. I look outside the window, I see an avalanche, and then I see a white horse appear. And then I say to the white horse, are you from the book of Revelation? It nods its head yes, and then I'm leaving, and then I'm heading back to Tennessee. I'm meeting my mom at a grocery store, and then I'm heading off to Lipscomb. Then after that, a week later, I get a phone call. So I just packed up everything within 3 days. And God, in that time too, God just gave me so much peace. I was feeling His presence so intense and strong in leading up to that news, that I knew He was preparing my spirit to do that. And so then I moved back home. A couple months later, COVID really started getting really bad, in America, and all colleges, all college students had to pretty much up and leave. But I was just thinking back to the white horse, which was from the book of Revelation. The Lord had told me that in my dream, kind of foretelling about what was gonna take place, this, apocalyptic type of event. And then it was so interesting too, because if you read about it in Revelation 6, it talks about the first seal being broken, and then it was the first horse was the white horse. And it says in Revelation 6 that the white horse was then given a bow and a crown, and he went out to conquer and was conquering. Well, it's so interesting because of the crown, and you think of Corona, and you think of the bow too. And the bow, I've had someone, a pastor, say that one of the interpretations of it comes from the Greek word toxon, which is toxic, a toxic arrow. And so you think about it too with the, for it and Corona, this, that was, I believe too, one of a plague that the white horse was bringing. So anyway, it was just so crazy, to see that. And on top of this, which I didn't share, but when I had flown home right after leaving Regent, we go to this prayer meeting, and we'd never been there before, this person's house, and above the mantle was a painting of the white horse from Revelation. So God, it was totally confirmation. So then anyway, I ended up actually going to Lipscomb for a semester, but I really felt led to go back to Regent. But instead of me going back on campus, I finished up online. And so I hadn't been on campus since January 2020. So it wasn't until this last weekend, so was it May 6th, May 7th, that I went back to Regent. And so I to be able to walk in the ceremony. So as I'm driving there, I see one of the signs, and I took a picture of it, and it says White Horse Road. And I thought, oh my gosh, because I was just reflecting on the journey and just how God directed me. And anyway, I just wanted to share with you too that, whatever your journey is, it may not seem, or you may at the moment seem like, what is going on, or how come I'm not, sorry, because my dog, but how come, you're just seeing something where you have a detour, but really it could be a God detour, because He sees what's going on. And especially in these times that we're living in, which I believe we're living in the end times, that we really have to be very in tune with the Holy Spirit and allowing him to speak to us but he's always wanting to speak to us, but it's really a matter of us listening and being willing to hear him and to diligently seek him, and invest that time with him. And even too with dreams, like for instance, like God speaks and communicates a lot to me through my dreams, and it wasn't all the time occurrence, but it began from prayer. And I'm saying, Lord, like I desire for you to communicate with me more, and if whatever that may look like through dreams, help me to remember my dreams so that I can write them down and then know what you are, and then pray about them and what you're telling me. Because if you see in the Bible a lot, God uses dreams to communicate and to redirect. And you think about it too, like in Matthew 2, when Herod made that decree after Jesus was born, to kill all the children under the ages of 2. And it says that the angel came and visited Joseph and Mary, warning them of this, to go and to flee to Egypt. And then afterwards, having another dream encounter, and that they left to go there when it was safe to come back to Egypt. And again, too, like Joseph in dreams, warning about the famine that was to take place. And so I just wanted to share with you too, just as how God spoke to me and directed me in my college, life, and being able to graduate, which has been amazing. And even though it has not been conventional, like I said, like 5 colleges, 4 different states, and but there's just been a lot of blessings in the journey. So another thing too is I truly believe, like I said, we're in end times, and the next horse is famine, and then war, and then famine. And I really believe that we are coming to that place too. And again, it's more so about, like, we can outwardly prepare, right? But more so about inward preparation. And so that's why I strongly encourage you to be in communication with God, to draw near to him, and he will draw near to us. And even in these times too, is that we will have tribulation, but to take heart, because the Lord has overcome the world. And so just draw close to him and allow him to become, for his life to increase within us, because him as the overcomer will help us to grow and to be overcomers as well. And knowing that this life is just temporary, and it's just a training ground for where we're going to be ruling and reigning with him for eternity. So it's so exciting, and it's exciting to be alive in this time, to be chosen in our whole family line, for us to be chosen during this time, and I believe too that maybe that we'll be able to even see the return of the Lord in our time. So anyway, I just pray that God would increase within your lives, just the ability to be able to hear him and to communicate with him, and for him to direct your steps, and also for there to be peace in your journey, whatever that may be, whether it's through college or through a career or even relocating to a different state, that God would just give you peace in it, even in the unknown, and to trust him, because it says if we commit our ways to the Lord, that he is faithful and he will direct our paths, that the paths of the righteous are ordered of the Lord. So I hope this was encouraging, and God bless, and I'll see you in my next video.